Hello, assalamu alaikum. So many of you know that I have been in Bali, and tomorrow actually marks my full third month of living here. And with that, I have received a lot of questions regarding how it is to live here, but also vacation wise. And I feel like at this point, it's quite fair for me to be able to share with you full on transparency, my personal feedback and review, what my perspective on it is, because of course, every individual has a unique journey, unique experience through their lens and through their own reflections. So let's start, of course, with how you can enter the island slash country. It depends, of course, on which passport you hold, so what citizenship you are, regardless of what that is, even as an American you need at least a visa on arrival, and that would grant you 1 month, so 30 full days as a tourist. And if you go beyond that, you will be fined. And of course, they can assess that when you come to depart the island. Now, you can get a 2 month long visa if you were to apply online. Of course, that's a little bit more expensive, but between the two, it kind of ranges between 40 to about 80 US dollars. Not so bad. I'll make clear that with the same visa, you're able to travel throughout all the islands within Indonesia. It's not just for Bali. One fun fact about the island is that it is the second most populated and busiest island in the entire world. You can guess what the first one is. So I'm going to start with the cons, in my opinion. There is way too much development happening. Way too many cafes, restaurants, buildings, apartments, resorts being built right now. And I'm a firm believer in that anything at its natural state, in its natural form, it should be preserved. That might go to the extent of saying that this island should no longer be livable. Of course, that's not even an option, but there's a limit to everything. And I feel like the limit here is now being surpassed. And I'm a little concerned of what more this island can actually handle, like with the amount of weight on it and craziness that's happening. I just imagine it sinking. Obviously, that's a little extreme, but there's a lot of construction happening. And I understand it from the perspective of it's bringing in a lot of income for the locals, in which they're able to support their families. A lot of mindful people could be considering planting a lot of trees to make up for whatever it is that they have destructed. But again, there's a limit to everything. And I feel like it's just boiling down to business and making it so profitable because it's heavily dependent and reliant on the tourists. The second thing is that there's a lot of heavy pollution happening and there's a lot of exhaust being emitted from all sorts of transportation. There's a ton of motorbikes and a vehicle will be stuck in traffic. It'll tell you 30 minutes to get from point A to point B on the GPS, but it will take you about 2 hours because of how heavy the traffic is. The roads are very, very narrow. Yeah, you have to have a lot of patience when you're on the road, especially. But again, with that, there's a lot of pollution. Oh my God, I just heard a cat. I found her or him. Look, it's how beautiful. Ooh, hello. You're such a beautiful kitty. She does have a collar. She seems like she's well taken care of. I spent way too much time with the kitty. So let me finish this up because the sun is setting. I don't want it to get too dark on me. So back to the pollution thing. If you're like me, I struggle with tonsillitis every so often. And obviously it's due to a lot of pollution in the air. And so this is why you have to make sure that you are on par with your healthy, holistic consumption in order for you to constantly allow your body to fight these foreign invaders. Otherwise, you will get really, really sick. Of course, there's a Bali belly thing that's known here. It is mainly due to the water, and that would be my third point. The water is awful here. There's no regulation on it whatsoever, despite the fact that it's an island surrounded by water. You cannot consume tap water. And with that, you shower with that sort of water, and that is what destroys your hair. So the water is not great. You want to make sure that you don't get sick, and that can come from either water or obviously unsanitary, unhygienic, cross-contaminated things. And this is why you have to be very mindful and do not hesitate or be afraid to make sure that you tell a person specifically how to get things done for you, especially if you're eating out quite often. Okay, I'm going to jump on over to all the pros.